right, we are live.
Do you want my phone on live somewhere so you can see?
Yeah, wherever you want to toss it. You want to toss it up on that reverse hyper, maybe?
Sure.
Um,
Wherever's easy enough for you to get to.
I'll peek in and out of it. That works, right? Okay, perfecto. All right, guys. So it is Thursday. Got my dog poop bags. It is Thursday, so that means plyo day. And what we're going to do today, let's do two things. Let's do a quick review, where we've been, and then do a quick look ahead, where we're going. So we did our intro to plyometrics. What are they? How do we use them, etc. We have done 2 different sessions on 2 different series of plyometrics. Most of them have been body weight driven. Well, they're all body weight driven, but I mean inline, let's say sagittal plane driven, so everything's moving forward. And so what I thought that we would do today is move into frontal plane, which is left to right mostly. And I want you guys to, again, focus on, we're using a hurdle. You do not necessarily need a hurdle to do some of these things. They are reference points. You can literally use towels. You can use a cone. You can use whatever you got around the house, man. Just be creative, right? Just not something you could readily sprain your friggin' ankle on. That would be great. So leave that as your prerequisite, right? So something solid that's going to create a marker point that you won't sprain your ankle on. So that's a pretty good prerequisite. So what we're going to do today is we're going to take you through, and I'm not going to make Ariel do these. He's here to help jump again. I promise I'll jump one of these days. I just didn't make any promises. But what we do with all of our athletes, at least our younger guys that are coming in, we do a 30-second hurdle hop test for a couple different reasons. Number one, it's hard. Working for 30 seconds continuously is not easy. It takes a lot of focus, especially at a near maximal effort energy. Number two, there's good data sets to compare to. So if I timed your 30-second hurdle hop and you did 52 jumps, right, and you are 17 years old, I can get comparable numbers to other 17-year-olds across the country, across the globe. So it's a really good marker. It's a really good test. It's super easy. It doesn't take a lot of coaching on my part, at least initially, and it sort of establishes a baseline for us. So a couple things about that 30-second hurdle hop. We have just standardized ours so that it's the same hurdle height for everybody. These hurdles are higher than we would normally use. We have loaned out all of our equipment since we've been in stay-at-home rules. So our hurdles and kettlebells and shit are all over the city of Seattle. So the way that we decided to start doing this was we don't give anybody the heads up as to where they are from duration. I'm not going to do 30 seconds in case you're sitting there wondering. But I just wanted to kind of take you through the baseline of what we do on day one and then how we progress through that, right? So that lateral hurdle hop essentially is right, left, left. So it's continuous for 30 seconds. Count your reps, every foot counts, right? Left 1, right 2, left 3, right 4. You count for 30 seconds, I say time, you got 68 as your total. We mark it down and we track it. So that's part of our baseline measurement test with vert jump, 10-yard dashes. We'll do any kind of speed and agility drill, just depending on what sport you play. Broad jump, single leg hop and hold, things like that as far as our pre-test. Now, what we're going to take you through today is why we test this first. So what we're looking for primarily is body control, consistent patterns. Can you engage your total body to do this exercise? It's not just quick feet. You've got to get core engaged. You've got to use your arms, especially if you're going to get a good score, and especially if you're going to amp up and improve. So those are just factors that we look at. And like I said, we don't coach it on day one. We just want to see you move. So for the most part, and I always say that, like when we bring people in and we do our dynamic warm-up, right? For us, it's a movement screening process. So we're looking at your squats and your lunges and your kicks and your hip mobility. And then we will take you over to the 30-second hop and hold, and we'll look at you move for 30 seconds at a near maximal intensity. So that gives us a good baseline. Now, After day one, you come back in. This is what we would do as like our first series with hurdles. And again, this gets into moving not just forwards and backwards, left and right. Remember, all the things that we do are based on movement patterns. There aren't very many sports where everything just moves this direction, right? So unless you're CrossFit, unless CrossFit's a sport, right? All CrossFit's this direction. I don't see a lot of this direction. So that being said, what we're going to try and move today is laterally. So I'm going to have Ariel pop out, and so we're going to go through two variations real quick. So on the first go round, we're going to land, hop, stick, right? So we're just going to hop over the hurdle and stick. And we'll do this from the get-go, like on day one. So I'm just going to have you go for like 8 seconds, right? So I'm going to have him work for 8 seconds. I'm going to try and break it down as he goes. So let's go. Ready, set, go. So as he hops, again, we're reinforcing landing with square feet, loading into the hips, time. And so what I'm looking for as a coach is, can he keep his feet square as he's moving laterally over the hurdle? Is he keeping his feet square? Do I have knee collapse? And then the other piece is, can I create a consistent pattern? All right, so let's say we did that. We've done that successfully for 3 or 4 sets of 10. An easy progression. Now we're going to do a lateral hop and vertical jump and stick. So he's going to hop over the hurdle, vertical jump, stick. Hop over the hurdle, vertical jump, and stick. And we're going to do that repetitively. Let's do it for like 6 seconds. Ready, set, go. So we hop, vert, stick. Oh, sorry. Got it. Hop, vert, stick, hop, vert, hop. Got it. So again, the reason that we focus on the stick pattern, and again, I'm trying to put you in our shoes as a coach and kind of what we look at and what we see. If you are coming in and you've never done some of this stuff before, it is a premium that you can decelerate and stop. That is primarily our focus, especially starting to move laterally. So if I'm hopping to my right and I'm trying to explosively jump vertical and then stick my landing, it is fairly uncommon that we find somebody that pops in day one that's never done it before, that doesn't have some weakness, some glaring weakness going on, right? So generally we're gonna have to fix it, correct it, slow shit down, and make sure we're on the right page. So that's the first piece. And then the second piece is that it's much easier to reinforce those mechanics when they're done right the first time than to always kind of go back and reinforce, right? So those two, that 1-2, where you're hopping and sticking on both exercises, that's why that premium is important, all right? So how do we progress up out of that? So on the first set, what we're gonna do is now we're gonna do it continuously. So I'm gonna have him just do 4 jumps. So we're gonna do a lateral hop, vertical jump, lateral hop, vertical jump. And he's trying to be explosive and continuous on all of it. So I'm literally gonna have him do 4 in a row. So let's go ahead and run through 4 here if we can. So hop, vert, pop back over, vert, pop back over, vert, pop back over, time, got it. And then he sticks on that last jump. So again, I mean, we've done this shit so many times that I could probably stick at any point in time that you call time, right? It's just our natural default. And it should be for you as well. So as you are getting fatigued, right? Fatigue is when most injuries occur. On fatigue, we will play higher. We will play lazy, for lack of a better term. When we play high, we got no leverage, and all of a sudden we plant cut, and bad shit happens. So that's why on fatigue, on all of our sets, as soon as we say time, you are sitting down and sticking at depth, because that's when you're going to be most fatigued, and that's when we want to reinforce that mechanic of depth, which is under fatigue. All right, so that's one variation, right? And hopefully you saw how those progressed, where we hop, stick, hop, stick, hop, vert, stick. And now all of a sudden we started to make this fluid hop, vert, stick, hop, vert, hop, vert, hop, vert, stick on the last jump. And that is literally, like if we write you a program, that is literally what you'll see on your program. We just kind of name things literally. So 2 things. Now I'm going to add a second hurdle to the mix. And again, just another progression And on this side, and if you notice, most of the stuff we're doing here is 2 foot, right? So we're not doing any chop through, we're not doing any speed and agility work. We're doing just lateral movement and explosive work here. So what I'm gonna have him do on this one is we're just gonna do just a lateral hop through and change the direction. So this becomes a battle of body control. So there's no vertical jump on the edges, but we are trying to decelerate and then immediately change directions and come back the other way. So let's do it down back twice again. We'll do 4 of them. So we'll go ready, set, and go. So watch his feet and watch how his arms work with his body. I wish we could immediately shoot these back in slow motion. That'd be awesome. So if you notice, and again, this is a lot of what we harp on, you have got to be able to move laterally while keeping your feet square. If I'm hopping and favoring one side versus the other, I know that looked cheesy, but it's the only way I can exaggerate it. If I'm landing and trotting through, right? What's going on if I'm trotting through? Basically, what that tells me is I'm favoring one side versus another. It also tells me that my core is not engaged. It also tells me that I may not be strong enough to do the exercise that I'm doing. That's a whole nother topic of conversation. I may take a big step back and go into single hop, left or right, instead of multiple hops. But if I can't do it correctly, then there really is no purpose in continuing to do it. And I don't mean that in a negative way, but that's how we try to positively reinforce mechanics, meaning you got to do it right. We can't let you half-ass through it, or we can't let you, I don't want to say half-ass, yeah, maybe you are half-assing it, or maybe just not picking it up, right? So we have to take a step back so we can continue to move forward. So hopefully that makes sense. Now, transitionally, what we like to do out of this piece is I'm now going to have him work in multiple directions. So on the last set that we'll do here today, what I'm going to have him do is we're going to do a hop through and a 180, and then a hop on the way back. So we're incorporating the vertical, right? So all of these patterns are tied together. So we've done our hop sticks, hop vert sticks, we've done our hop through change of directions. Now what I'm going to have him do is a hop, hop 180, hop, hop 180. So it is this continuous pattern that we're moving left to right, but we're also now starting to rotate. So this is 4 easy, simple exercises that naturally progress from A to B to C to D, 4. All right, so we'll do a lateral hop and then a 180 on the edge. So you're gonna hop, hop, turn, let's keep 4. All right, ready, set, and go. So we got hop, hop, go. Good. Turn, got it. So you can see he's getting some float and hang time on the edges. Good. All right. And you should feel your core when you're rotating in the air. So he's getting enough lift and hang time that as he rotates and turns, and what I'm looking at again is his feet, when he rotates and turns, his feet are square going the opposite direction. All right, so it is hugely important and critical that we do that. As you get fatigued, you're gonna have a tendency to get narrow and or staggered. And again, that reduces the amount of core that you're using. And at the end of the day, you're going to get less muscle activation and less neuromuscular reinforcement out of that pattern specifically. So hopefully that makes a little bit of sense, guys. And again, we just want to kind of take you through another version of our plyometric training. Simple stuff, right? Like we've got hurdles, but seriously, you can use towels as your hurdles. You know, common things, hopefully I outlined common things that we see, you know, tendencies towards. And again, tendencies from our coach's perspective are you're either trotting through some of this stuff, you're not using the lift in your arms, which means your core is not engaged, or the foot pattern doesn't stay square. So you got to be able to keep your feet square every time you're doing this. So that's our hurdle overview. Now, what we're going to do, and I'm going to set the template for next week, what we are going to do next week is we're going to start combining our boxes and hurdles and how we put in all of our multi-directional stuff. So it'll be still a little bit more power and explosive gear, no speed and agility stuff yet. We'll get into that towards the end of this month as we head into summer. as we head into June, I should say. So hopefully that makes sense. If you guys have questions, you know where to find us. As always, check us out on YouTube. That's where our stuff lives forever. Subscribe, that'd be great. We would much appreciate it. And also, there's just a shit ton of information there, guys. All of this stuff has been pieced together, so we're just developing our online coaching curriculum. Hopefully you guys appreciate it, and have an awesome weekend. That's all I got. See ya.